Good morning. I'm Berta Karapetian from New York City, and it's a beautiful morning today. And I will be tutoring on brioche stitch, which is one of my favorite techniques, and people want to learn it. However, sometimes it presents for known reason, it presents difficulties for different people. So I will be showing today how to make a simple hat in brioche in the round, and I will show you how to do it for Continental knitters and for American knitters. This is a beautiful brioche hat that I would like to teach you how to make today. It has two different sides, as you understand, as any of the double color brioches. On this side, we call it dark side. It's black, and on inside, the same hat is white. So you can wear it on any side you'd like. So the reason I'm starting brioche tutoring with a hat is because brioche in the round is much easier than brioche back and forth. And I think that it's a very, very good practice to start brioche, if you've never done it before, from the circular knitting where you have only 2 rows instead of 4 rows. Okay, so this hat is made originally out of our beautiful Aurora 8. And today, however, I will be demonstrating the same type of hat on bulky Aurora, only for the purpose for you to see it better, because the stitches are bigger and I can demonstrate it much easier. It looks much better if you do it with a springy yarn. That's why I have chosen Aurora 8 or Aurora Bulky, because it keeps the form very, very well in the shape. So let's start. As I mentioned, I will be doing that on Aurora Bulky, but whoever is interested in making it out of original Aurora 8, it will be instructions on our site how to get a pattern for both of them on my website. So for the beginning, we cast on 60 stitches if it's bulky. I already made 2 rows in knit 1, purl 1. So the third row that we're going to be doing is the preparation row. We called it preparation row. And here is how we do it. I will be demonstrating that for Continental knitters and for American knitters. The first one is Continental. You bring the yarn to the front and you slip the knit stitch. Then you bring it to the front and you purl it. So to the front and slip it and purl it. When we bring the yarn to the front and slip the knit stitch, we create what we call in brioche technique brioche knit, or BRK. So BRK created, then the regular purl stitch, BRK and the regular purl stitch, yarn to the front, and you slip it. It's very important, and I will mention it more than once. The yarn is in the front, and you're always slipping your stitches from the back as of to purl. So the yarn is to the front and you purl it. Yarn is to the front and you slip it from the back. To the front and purl it. To the front and slip it. Purl it. Now I will demonstrate the same thing for American knitter who holds the yarn on the right side. Okay, so we bring the yarn to the front and we slip the stitch. Then we bring it around the needle into the front and we purl it. Then we leave it in the front and we slip it. Then we bring it around and purl it. So basically what you have to do when you purl it, don't transfer the yarn to the back, because by slipping the knit stitch, you're already doing the yarn over. Now what you have to do, you go just around the needle and purl the stitch. Leave it in the front and slip the knit. Bring it to the front and purl. Leave it in the front and slip the stitch. Bring it around to the front and purl the stitch. So we came to the end of the row, which is very good. So we do the same, slip the knit, purl the purl, slip and purl. So that is our preparation row. We are finished with that. Very good. Now we are ready to do the second row. And the second row is going to be very easy. You knit the yarn over with a knit, which we call brioche knit. So that brioche knit is knitted. Brioche knit, then yarn is to the front, we slip the purl. Brioche knit, we slip the purl. Brioche knit, yarn goes to the front, and we slip the purl. Brioche knit, yarn to the front, slip the purl. This is one of the main events when you see the real benefits of continental knitting in brioche. It's really much simpler than American knitting with brioche. However, it's possible and everybody does it anyway. So again, brioche knit, yarn to the front, you slip it. Brioche knit, yarn to the front, and you slip the purl. Now I'm going to show you the same thing for American knitter. So we put it on our finger. Yarn is to the front and we slip the purl. Then we knit the brioche without bringing the yarn to the back. It's already making us the yarn over. So yarn is in the front and we slip the purl. Leave it in the front and knit the brioche. Yarn it in the front, slip the stitch, go, leave it in the front and knit the brioche. So by leaving the yarn in the front, we are creating ourselves the yarn over the needle. That's why yarn is in the front, we slip the purl, and then without bringing it to the back, we are knitting the brioche. We are bringing it to the back, but only when we are doing the brioche, not before. So yarn is in the front and we slip the purl. Leave it in the front and knit the brioche, which we go down to the back and finishing the brioche, and that will give us the knitted yarn over. So yarn it to the front, slip the purl, leave it in the front and knit the brioche. Now we're coming to the end of the first row, which is done in a dark color. So we're finishing that by doing the same exact thing. Yarn to the front, slip the purl, yarn to the back, and knit brioche. Yarn to the front, yarn to the back, yarn to the front, slip it, and we're at the end of the row. Now we are attaching the light color. We are attaching it by simple knot. Bringing very close, switch the colors. And now we are going to be doing the second row in the light color. So the first row was dark side, dark color. This one is dark side, light color. So here is the second row. yarn to the front and slip the knit, yarn to the front and purl the brioche purl. So slip the knit, brioche purl, slip the knit, brioche purl. So the yarn is basically always in the front. Slip, brioche purl, slip, brioche purl, slip, brioche purl, slip, brioche purl, slip, brioche purl. Now let's do the American way. So yarn is on the right side. So you go to the front and you slip the knit stitch. Then you go around the needle and you brioche purl. Leave it in the front and slip the knit. Go around the needle and brioche purl. So only two movements. Leave it in the front after the purl and slip the knit. Go around the needle and brioche purl. So you see that it's a little bit more manipulations. However, if you are convinced American knitter, you don't want to try Continental, you can always do it this way. So leave it in the front, slip the knit. Go around the needle, do the brioche purl. So in this knitting, you can see that we are creating only two combinations of stitches. It's either brioche knit and yarn over slip purl, or as we're doing on the second row, brioche purl and yarn over slip knit. It's either or. It's like a couple that never separates. I call it personally, dressed and undressed stitches. And they are friends which never ever separate from each other. You can't have two of those or two of those. You always have them as a couple. Look at this. We always look at them as a couple. Slip, purl, dress, undress. I mean, by saying dress, I am putting the hood over the stitch. I'm dressing the stitch. And this already has a hood, so I am undressing it. So, in other words, slip, purl, or dress, undress, dress, undress. So in brioche knitting, you can never see two undressed or two dressed stitches next to each other, because all the brioche knitting is about pair of stitches, dress or undress, or brioche knit and yarn over slip purl, or brioche purl and yarn over slip knit. We are at the end of the row, and now something very important I have to show you that will assure you that you have a very neat brioche hat. Here is my last stitch in this round. So I'm making that stitch in a light color. Then I go to the back, take the dark color, which is next row. It's going to be done in dark color. And I twist them very tightly. That's very, very important. And I leave alone the last light color, and I start with a dark color, but they have to be twisted. That will assure you that you have a very neat back of the hat, and you will be able to switch from dark to light, wearing the hat as you wish. So now we're back to row 1, and it should be really, really simple. You brioche knit, you slip the stitch. You brioche knit, you slip the stitch. Brioche knit, slip, yarn, mentioned it before, Yarn is in the front, slip it as of to purl. Yarn in the back, you brioche knit, slip, knit. It's really not a difficult technique when you get a rhythm of it. And I personally love it, and I do quite a few developments in brioche stitch because it's kind of like a melody, very mild melody, and you go and mildly doing slip, knit, slip, knit, and you continue like that for 6 inches. I will continue like that between those 2 rows, and I will meet you in 6 inches when it's at that level, and I will show you how to shape the crown.